Good afternoon and welcome to this 10th episode of the Social Justice Zealot. This afternoon I want to shift slightly from racial issues to planetary problems. Yes, I want to sound off just a bit about the ecology of our home, planet Earth, and what we've done to it, and whether or not we care enough to try to repair it. And so to begin, I want to start at the beginning. After living creatures, even those creeping ones that creep upon the earth, God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air, over the cattle and over all the wild animals of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon the earth." So God created humankind in his image. In the image of God, God created them, male and female. God created them. God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply. Fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air and over every living thing that moves upon the earth." God said, "See, I have given you, you being humanity, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is upon the face of the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit, you shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has life in it, the breath of life, I have given every green plant for food." And it was so. God saw everything that God had made, and indeed it was very good. And there was evening, and there was morning, a sixth day. Well, it seems clear as crystal that Almighty God's intention was to have the pinnacle of his creative endeavor be large and in charge of the earth and all that is in it and of it. That's what have dominion over means. And after finishing his creative labor, God declared it all good and very good. And so the die was cast. God had handed over the earth and all of its life-giving and life-sustaining gifts to humanity, to nurture and to care for. That was in the beginning. And millions and billions of years later, humanity continues to bear this responsibility to be good stewards of the gifts that God has created and bestowed. So how are we doing? Well, while I think we've taken some strides in correcting our pollutive and destructive incursions on our home, there is a young woman who, as of late, has given us being the adult human world population, a great big fat F. You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you? Of course, this honest and straight shooting assessment comes from Greta Thunberg from the country of Sweden. In her speech at the 2019 United Nations Climate Change Summit in New York, Greta accuses the leaders of the world of ignoring the science behind the climate crisis. Greta accuses the world's leaders. I can only speak for leadership in our country. I'm not even sure I can speak for them. But I have to agree with her. Greed and bigger profits are our goals and are winning government and corporate America's attentions over the basic needs of our home, our planet. Indeed, Greta, how dare we? Now, I really haven't touched the surface of my righteous indignation this afternoon. And so I invite you to tune in next Wednesday when I'll attempt to share a bit from Al Gore's An Inconvenient Truth. Until then, I hope that you'll remember that God blessed the man and the woman and said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the birds of the air and over every living thing that moves and grows and has its being upon the earth." God has given us, humanity, all of creation to tend and to care for. We better get busy before it's too late. See you next week. Blessings.